Drawing for you. Function and purpose, technical ability, primitive approach. What is drawing? How do we use our materials? How do we gain comfortability with the word exploration? Right? How do we set our sight on slowing the way we feel comfortable down? Right? How do we do that? Right? And how do we allow ourselves to ask those questions for our body? Right? And then to accept, like for example, we're doing our dollar bill right now. And the dollar bill exercise assignment is asking us to almost condition our bodies to really slow down our mark making. And also it's really pushing us to not depict anything, but only to come up with as many experimental marks within that dollar, right, depiction, where you're almost, the goal is to non-depict, right? And the thing that we're going to cover today for the backside of our dollar bill is we're going to go through and follow the levels of the pencil, right? And I think by doing that, we're going to see how our levels of our pencil really delegate, how our mark making is being dispensed, right, out of our pencil tool. And then also we can really pay attention to when we use pressure on our H's and we use pressure on our B's in a similar way, that the outcome is very differently. And we can pay attention to our rhythm of shading when we're doing our, repetitive motion for shading, laying out our pencil material. We're also kind of paying attention to how our body is moving along with what we're depicting, and really paying attention to our body rhythm, also paying attention to our breath, and also paying attention to going slow. Right? We're going quick, but we're going slow. We're going quick in terms of coming up with the most amount of experimental marks as we can, right, within the dollar frame. But we're going slow in the buildup of that, right? Because the buildup over time is going to allow for all the experimental marks that's happening on your dollar bill, right? Somehow there's going to be a depiction that's going to happen with those experimental marks that you're making. And, it's almost like you can squint your eye and you can actually see, the dollar bill. Okay, and that's what we're going for, right? And we're going to kind of achieve it by starting out with an H pencil, and then we'll just move on up, and we'll see, what those higher B's will do. Okay, and then, you'll get a sense of how to pressure, right? How to put pressure on your material and on your tool, right? Even though this material has been covered repeatedly, this pressure, this practice of engaging with your material is something that is ongoing, right? And my perspective is coming from a different vantage point. So I'm showing you a different angle, right? So there's an opportunity, right? There's an opportunity to look at this in a different way, right? So, right? So when we're engaging in this assignment, for this dollar bill, right? We're being experimental. We're giving in. We're paying attention to our agility, our technical ability, and we're also paying attention to, how we are primitive, Again, to use that kindergarten word, or to use the baby word, how were we when we were 3 months old with our mark making ability? And why not tap into this, when we are coming up with our experimental marks, and we're asking ourselves to kind of come out of our comfort zone, to create discomfort, right? The discomfort with this assignment is not depicting anything, right? Not showing any depiction, right? Very, very challenging to do that, right? And to build up an impression of a depiction with the buildup of your pencils, coming from an H to the higher B's.